G'day, I'm Barry Hall, ex-footballer, Swans Premiership captain, but my real passion, which a lot of people don't know about, is cars. I've got a couple here today I'm going to show you and have a chat about them. My first car was a HR Holden, so a 67 HR Holden. It was a 186, big power, massive power. I struggled to handle it. Had a Supra box in it, but that was my first car. My dad actually gave me the car and said, if you restore it and get it going on the road, that I could have this on my first car. Unfortunately, I sold it. I should never have done that. I got drafted to St Kilda Football Club, and at that stage, I was only on 16 grand a year, which you got paid per game, but when you're young back then, you just didn't play games. So I was pretty much on 16 grand a year. I couldn't afford the fuel. I was going from Broadford, which was my hometown, to Moorabbin, 1.5 hour drive. Couldn't afford the fuel, so we converted the old HR to gas, so I could afford it. 16 cents a litre back then.
Wow.
So after doing the hard yards in footy on a low wage, I started to make a bit of money. I started to play some consistent football and started to earn some money from it. So what does any young bloke do when they've got some money in their pocket? They go buy a new car. So I bought a VR SS Commodore. They were brand new at that stage, and I sold my HR and bought that pile of crap. I stayed in the Commodore scene for a long time. Every time a new model come out, I used to update. So the VR Senator, the old 215 kilowatt model, the 355 stroker as standard. I upgraded to a GDS VX Monaro, the 300 kilowatt one. That was a nice car, shouldn't have got rid of that either. And then I upgraded again to the VE Maloo, the 317 kilowatt, actually twin turboed that one, and that was a nice car. But I've had a lot of modern day cars, and they make really good power and they're nice to drive, but I've always reverted back to the old school. I've got some old school behind me now, which I'll talk about. But as I said, I started with old school, went to all these new Commodores, but I went back to the roots, and I've got a HG Premier now. It's got a big block Chev in it, the 572, 2-speed power glide, 9-inch diff. It runs low nines for the quarter through full exhaust and an air cleaner, so it's pretty fun to drive. I've also got a dedicated drag car, so it's a WB Ute 632. We actually just PB'd last time we went out at Calder, 8.0 at 169 miles an hour. So we're that far away from the 7 seconds. So next time it goes out, let's keep our fingers crossed it'll do a 7-second pass. My goal is obviously to run a 7-second pass in my Ute. That's all I've wanted to run for years, and I just haven't got there. So we've tinkered, and we've blown motor up here and there and burned through a lot of money and learnt a lot of things, but we think we've got the combo right now, and we've got the knowledge to be able to do it back to back. We've actually gone EFI with the Ute, so we're just getting some data out of that now, and it's got everything to run a 7-second pass, so that'll be the goal. So in the near future, that should happen. I know you should never say should, because it can bite you on the bum, the old drag racing scene. The other goal we've got is with the HG Prem. We want to do the drag challenge next year. We think the car can be competitive, but it's more about being competitive. We just heard it's a really good week. A great group of people, all with the same sort of goals in mind, and everyone helps each other. So we heard it's a really good vibe. We want to maybe get amongst that next year, so look out for that. The other project I've got is a 69 Camaro. It's a twin turbo deal. It's a 14 Cuba, conventional small block. I haven't gone the LS. I've stayed true to the old school. It's got 66 mil turbos on it. It should make a bit of power. That's not far away. That's only a couple of months away. So I'll be getting that going. Hopefully for MotorX we can have that going. Well, we've learnt a hell of a lot. So my brother is the guy that screws the motors together on these things. I do all the hard work. He just gets all the cream and takes all the glory. But no, but he's very knowledgeable. He's only a young fella, but he dots the I's, crosses the T's. If he doesn't know it, he researches it. So we've got All Automotive that's up in Wallen at the moment. I started this business off and we got my brother involved. He's had workshops pretty much all his life. So we banded together. It's a really good business. We do everything. We do servicing and brakes, pretty much the everyday stuff. But we do a bit of this stuff on the side. Well, I've been drag racing for a long time, over 15 years. In a decent car. I've always had dabbles in little street cars that you wouldn't even mention. But the serious stuff, I've had a HQ Monaro with the big block in it. So I raced that for many years. My father's got that car now. And then I delve into the Ute and the Premier, and I just love the challenge of it. It's, you know, you spend stupid amounts of money for a tenth of a second, but everyone knows what it's about. You get the buzz of it. I love the adrenaline. I love going fast. I love trying to control something that's out of control. It's maybe I should be in drifting, I'm not sure, because drag racing you're meant to go straight, not sideways, but I love the sideways feeling. I just love the challenge of, yeah, just little bits and pieces when it's almost like a game of golf, cars and drag racing. You think you've got it and it bites you on the bum. The next day you'll come out and everything's different. Track's different, car's different, weather's different. So I just love the challenge of the continual chase. I love the big jigsaw puzzle that cars are, pulling them apart, making them better, going back to the track and trialling it. So I know we're stupid, aren't we?